Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the latest edition of Thoughts Count Anywhere. Coming to you live from the Go Live Vegas studios in the heart of Las Vegas, Nevada. I am Aaron Phillips. Joining me, of course, is the Chief, Matt Mullen on the far end. Gentlemen, how are you?
Outstanding today.
Fantastic.
And sitting in the DJ booth today is our guest, Bell Ringer, who is a closet wrestling fan. You would think I would know this from doing a show with him called Rise of the Fan, but my partner on that show, Mr. Brett Lawson, is in the booth today. Oh, I'm sorry, John Cena is in the booth today.
Oh, absolutely.
I apologize. So welcome to our shindig here, Mr. Brett.
Happy to be here. What era Cena am I right now? I mean, I guess I could kind of tell by the hat. But
Well, that's not the Doctor of Thugonomics.
No,
that's
definitely
for sure.
not. Definitely
so
not.
That's probably the 2000s for sure, probably like 2010 up.
right.
But he's never looked so good, though.
Oh, thank you.
There
I'm
you
happy
go.
to be here.
Yeah,
Little thin. Cena's changed up the workout regimen
Yes,
a bit. Right.
yes. Snapchat only does the face.
Hey, Mr. Aaron over there, what kind of cereal you eating today?
Oh, yeah, what cereal we got in the bowl? What did you have? It's a survey. Chief wants to know. When Chief wants to know, Cheerios. Regular or Honey Nut? Regular. What kind of milk? Regular. Whole milk.
Fucking lame.
I know.
All right.
702-329-6947 is our number. Press 1 to come into the studio to chat with us. Of course, we're also managing and following along with the chats and want to say good morning to Garth. Oh, Garth finally got his TCA shirt yesterday. Excellent.
Yeah.
You got to put it on and take a picture of it so we know. Good morning, Sean. Thomas Burnett's out there. Everybody's out there. We got a good show today. By the way, Mike Halverson, when you're getting in the chat room, I need you to let us know because Chief has to correct something for you specifically regarding our merch shirt stuff. So we'll do that when Mike jumps in. Hopefully he'll jump in. If not, we'll do it and he'll watch it on the replay. Anyway, we've got a lot going on today. So let us begin with I Hear Voices. Wow. Why does that bell sound like dull today?
I have no idea.
Oh, there we go.
I was a little top heavy. That's why. Okay, makes
gotcha.
sense. I had to test it out a second time.
Christ, do we have to train these
I
guys?
guess so.
when they
We got to
come?
send the standard operating
Holy
procedure manual. All right. First topic, rumor is Charlotte's suspension, indefinite suspension, and a $100,000 fine is basically to write her off because she now needs to have minor dental surgery. Why couldn't she have had that when she was off?
Her choppers looked okay to me. I read that she's getting written off because of some movie she's going to partake in.
I heard it was because of the dental surgery thing, but she's got to film Walking Tall at some point.
Right.
That's what I heard.
I wonder if she has like heat with the actual company because every time she seems to disappear, it's for some random little not necessary procedure that
Right.
just like gets her away from TV.
Well, we know she had a breast implant fix because
Yes.
she had an issue with one there. There's no question she's had to. Well, I shouldn't say no question. Yeah, exactly, Garth. That's what I was saying. Should have had it done when she had her nose fixed. But it appears if you look at pictures from a couple of years ago, Brett, and to current, and we see Charlotte Flair, there's no question she is having some work done across the board. Would you not agree?
I wonder if Daddy's paying for it.
No.
Brett, are you working over there? Come on, stay with us.
No, absolutely. And you know what? It's funny, too, because Charlotte, just in general, like, the whole aura about her has changed so much in recent years. You know, I love it, too. Now I'm the Fiend.
Yeah,
we're exploring the spectrum, really.
Listen, you sit in that DJ booth,
I like
anything
it.
can happen.
Anything's possible. No, but it's interesting, too, because, you know, the aura surrounding Charlotte has changed so much. Obviously, she was a part of the Revolution initially, but then she kind of separated herself with all the title reigns, a lot of the big high-profile matches, a lot of great caliber matches. So now you just have to kind of wonder what they have next in store for. Obviously, there were some plans for Mania before what you guys just alluded to. So I'm curious just to see the general outlook for her because obviously she's a top talent, whether it be male or female. That's out of the question. But what is her trajectory going to be into the near future, especially at a time now that's kind of pivotal for the company,
Right.
shifting into that post-Mania season?
Exactly. Now heading towards SummerSlam, and it'll be interesting. But, you know, I think Matt hit it on the head. Whenever anybody has some heat, they figure out a way to get them off TV in a, well, I don't want to say unconventional way, but certainly a way that, you know, you can understand. So
Yeah, because I just looked it up, and she says she signed her new WWE contract July 2019, and it doesn't expire until 2023. So she's definitely under contract.
Yeah, so she got a 4-year contract. So, all right, let's go to our next topic. Now he's got it. SummerSlam.
Damn!
That's right. That's right. Where is Ron Simmons when you need him, right? Okay. Garth has an interesting take on it. He says, I think she's let the push and her talent go to her head. Interesting. Especially when your last name is Flair.
They're letting her get away with it.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
SummerSlam possibly to be either somewhere in Texas or Phoenix. Does that mean SummerSlam will be back at Cowboy Stadium, Jerry's World, AT&T, or is there some other location in Texas, or where would they hold it in Phoenix that would be prominent? Matt?
I thought they were. I thought they were doing the big one.
They're doing WrestleMania.
They're doing
Yeah.
WrestleMania in
In-
Texas Stadium.
Right.
in Texas Stadium, right?
Or whatever.
Good morning, Jeff.
Jerry's
Right.
World is called.
Right. Yeah.
So would they have SummerSlam and WrestleMania back to back like that?
Phoenix. So I will be there.
So where would they
Guaranteed.
have they? Has it been noted anywhere about where in Phoenix they're looking?
Probably the stadium, like the football stadium where they had WrestleMania 26.
Was that the
Like
where the
Glendale or wherever it's in.
University
Gotcha.
of Phoenix Stadium.
Okay, I was there.
And then
okay.
they had the Rumble at Chase, which is the baseball field.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
There you go. Okay, you know what? I forgot about Chase Field. I forgot
Yeah.
about the Diamondbacks as a possibility.
Everybody else does too.
Yeah, I do.
Even
said.
people in Arizona.
Well said.
We going to Phoenix? We going to Phoenix?
I'm down.
All right, let's go. I'm ready.
Make it happen, Vince.
Absolutely.
Phoenix.
Let's do it, and we want to get press passes. Okay, last topic under voices.
The cadence here is interesting.
Just got to
Just ring. Just better to ring than not ring. Okay.
Just got to go along for the
There
ride.
we
That's
go.
all that it is. Yeah, better
Now-
ring than not ring.
now-
Exactly.
okay.
Sean had
Yes.
an interesting comment.
Go for it.
The office in the terms of Andrade's release
Mm-hmm.
might have something to do with
Yeah. Well, there was talk
Going
about that
round
one
about
ring.
Sean,
Yeah,
yeah.
absolutely.
Thanks, Sean.
Garth, road trip. I'll tell you what, if we all end up going, you better get a Mazda van. We'll all climb into a van or big vehicle, and then we can also promote you there as well as we trip to Arizona.
So we'll do a podcast.
Yeah, Sean
Okay.
is right, too. Phoenix and Texas, both extremely hot. SummerSlam. Feel the heat. Remember that name? So, all right. Randy Orton possibly hurt his shoulder this past Monday night on Raw during the match. I saw the move. It looked a little awkward on his shoulder when he kind of went down, so it is a possibility, but I've not seen any follow-up to that since.
I haven't either.
I haven't either. I just hope he's not like seriously injured. He's like on the best run of like one of the best runs of his career. So
Well, it's interesting you bring that up. Where would you rank this run that he's had with The Fiend in comparison to any other runs he's had, either, I don't know, against Triple H or whoever? Where
not
would you rank
necessarily against like the run against the Fiend. I just mean like his matches like recently against like from like Edge on. Like it just seems to be on the
this? In just overall performance?
yeah.
Gotcha.
To be perfectly honest with you, that's really, and I mean this with all due respect, that's really one of two storylines that WWE has had that's made sense.
Right. Garth says done with a couple exclamation points for our road trip to Phoenix. So
Sweet.
now we just need WWE to follow suit. That's all. Hey, Brett, give me your top three performers in any realm of any of the wrestling world today that you like to follow. Male, female, doesn't matter, promotion.
AJ Styles,
Okay.
Samoa Joe.
Who's now a free agent?
Yeah. Or so you said anywhere in the spectrum, not just WWE.
Oh, no, yeah, anybody.
Okay, gotcha.
Anybody across.
And it's probably a tie between Becky Lynch and Sasha. Maybe Becky Lynch slightly edges her out just because I kind of like Becky Lynch's, I won't even say gimmick better. I guess I just like,
The man.
yeah, I like the man a lot, but even before the man, I probably liked her slightly better than Sasha. Maybe the repertoire of moves I kind of like a little better. Not to say she's necessarily a better worker. It's just preferably I'll take it. I like that style of work
Right,
better.
right.
So probably Becky Lynch, but Sasha's up there too.
Okay.
Their whole trajectory has really been interesting the past few years.
What's your first memory of watching wrestling? Or what happened that got you into wrestling? Let's share that with our
wow.
audience. Because I want to let our
It's-
audience know we don't just bring anybody in here.
I was a new generation baby, so that was like when I was growing up during the new generation
Gotcha.
era. I really got into it in the early Attitude Era, then kind of phased out a little bit just because, and not for any particular reason. I just kind of stopped watching it. And then when I ventured back into it,
Right.
it was around the time of WrestleMania 17, which was an all-time high for the company.
Right.
So from that point onward, I kind of was
Okay.
immersed, even though I had already been familiar with the product
Sure.
and the industry before. But from that point on is when I really got hooked. At the time, I liked the invasion angle a lot. In hindsight, not
Right.
so much. But all those that added talent, all those superstars coming over from WCW,
Right.
it was a fun time to be introduced to the product.
Oh,
so
absolutely.
I kind of got hooked from that point onward.
Absolutely.
So the 90s.
Late 90s, yeah, you got it.
Yeah, that's all right.
You're a youngster.
I am.
I know.
But to be fair, and Aaron knows this just from some of the work we've done together. It's Oh, okay. Man, we are covering the whole spectrum. I'm curious to see where we're going to end up.
Every time you see a different face, dude, you got to go into character.
Can we get some Road Warrior Animal or something?
Yeah, I don't know what he's got in the repertoire
Yeah.
over there.
Who's that one?
That's Gold Dust.
That's Gold Dust.
That's
Aaron has
Goldie.
no idea who that is.
I know he has no idea who the Road Warriors are. Yeah. Sean Hyde says, "Mark my words, AEW will make Samoa Joe versus CM Punk happen," and this will be a good segue as we begin our WWE report. CM Punk said WWE TV is awful and said he would be just another guy if he returned to WWE.
You know, when he said that, I wonder if he's including NXT into that comment. Or is
That's
he,
a good question.
Or is he just talking about Raw and SmackDown?
You know what? That's a great question. And should the day come, that would be interesting to ask him.
He changes his mind about everything more than we change our freaking underwear. He went from like complaining for years that he never headlined a WrestleMania, and now he's going around interviews saying The Undertaker versus him was the main event, so he did headline WrestleMania. And I'm like, all right, so what were you bitching about for like 7 years now?
Thomas Burnett follows up to Sean's comment. He'd rather see Joe back in Ring of Honor, and there's a lot of I listen. Let's give credit where credit is due. I listen to Busted Open on Sirius Radio, and they talk about that quite often. He's got 90 days to figure out what he wants to do. We know he wants to get back in the ring, and that's one of the reasons why he asked for or got released, because they just could not agree on what to do. Obviously, the CM Punk thing with the Fox show that he was supposed to be a part of, how many episodes did he end up appearing on that?
How many episodes were there to begin with?
That's true. That's a good point. That's a great point.
I didn't blink my eyes, so that tells you I missed
Right.
There you go. 702-329-6947. Sean Hyde takes offense, not offense, but he goes the other way on your comment about Punk always changing his mind.
I'm like trying to do other stuff. I can't even.
Oh,
see
he
this
says
is-
CM Punk has never changed his mind. He has always had the same narrative.
I don't know. I've seen a million interviews where he said he hasn't main evented WrestleMania and it's bull crap and blah blah. I saw one last week and he's like, I main evented WrestleMania with The Undertaker. Nothing could follow that. And
I've noticed what you're talking about in a way, just because I think his stance is kind of the same as in terms of his opinion on like management. But
Yeah.
I feel like the way he delivers answers in these interviews, whether it be like the StarCast interview he had like a year and a half ago, I feel like when he's approached on it or like addressed on it, he really kind of wants to just sweep it under the rug. His
Sure.
answers seem a little bit more minimal. He doesn't seem like he wants to step on any toes or like, push any buttons. He kind of just says, "No, we were fine. We were cool. It was whatever. I've moved on." I think he kind of wants to just really erase the wrestling legacy. But I agree that I guess you could say like just the way he response to that seems a little different. I think his opinion's the same, but the way he gets it across seems a little bit different. Because I was
Sure.
watching interview clips just yesterday of him talking about his package with Cena, and I'm all like, he's never really sounded this way when talking about his work with Cena. I mean, the
Yeah.
opinion's kind of the same. He's never had like ill intentions towards Cena, but the way he elaborates or doesn't elaborate, whatever his, I guess you could say his mood is that day, that seems a little bit different than what it once was.
true.
All right. Great conversation about Punk's methodology. We're going to end it right there. We're going to go into our first break. Mike Halverson, thank you for joining us this morning. Appreciate it. Sean, as always. We're going to step aside for our first break. You're watching Thoughts Count Anywhere, coming to you live from the Go Live Vegas studios in the heart of Las Vegas. We'll be back in 60 seconds.
If inspiration is the beginning, where does it lead? Experience the 2021 Mazda 3 sedan and see where inspiration can take you.
Grab the brass ring in a 2021 Mazda 3 with exclusive FSW discounts at Findlay Mazda. Get Garth today at the Valley Auto Mall.
It's not the worst podcast ever, is it? It's the best podcast. Thoughts count anywhere. All your wrestling news, all your hobbit all your gimmickry. Go on over, listen wherever your podcasts are downloaded. The Thoughts Count Anywhere podcast. I'm the big LG Doc Ellis. That's my endorsement. Booyah!
All right, welcome back to Thoughts Count Anywhere, TCA as we affectionately call it. Brett Lawson on the belt today, my partner on Rise of the Fan, which you'll hear at 10:30 this morning.
We'll charge you for that plug.
But that's all right. Send me a bill. It won't get paid. Don't worry. We'll put it on the. Speaking of pay, God damn, you know how many times today I wanted to send a payment transaction to somebody and I keep forgetting. I swear to you.
That's why I let the wife handle it.
No, I know. Well, my wife doesn't handle this payment. I do. She can't pay my hookers. But anyway, so besides that, welcome back to Thoughts Count Anywhere.
I'd like 10 right off the tip of my tongue.
I know you did. 7, that's why I said it and got off of it.
Let me see how many dollar bills I got here.
702-329-6947. Press 1 to come into the studio. Hey, if you're a Twitter fan, please feel free to use hashtag ThoughtsCountAnywhere to send us a message via Twitter. You'll see it show up on the screen. We'll address it. Plus, at some point in the show, we'll get a crawl across the bottom of all the activity that's going on in the world of wrestling. Plus, our QR code should eventually show up, which will take you to our website. Before we move on, let's talk about our bracketology. We decided to extend round 4 for a couple of reasons. Number one, we had a technical issue and had trouble getting the bracket up for the final 4 this week. Was it user error? I don't remember what the error message was.
No, it was the Chief
It's
not doing
the ID 10T error.
Yeah.
ID 10.
That's Chiefs 3/4 half-timers.
Exactly. If you go to the laptop for a moment there, Mr. Producer, thank you very much. You'll see the final 4 still up there. Best wrestling entrance. We have Triple H and The Undertaker. My goodness. And in the other bracket, Sandman versus The Fiend.
Sandman.
I expect you to vote, Brett.
Oh, absolutely. I already have some opinions.
All right.
Oh, yeah.
Thoughts?
We didn't ask for
Well,
it.
that's okay.
That's why I held my tongue.
That's okay. That's it.
That's why I didn't
We
get
know.
it.
Thomas Burnett says if we don't see Aaron next week, we know why. Yeah. Hey, listen, Garth. I'm glad you mentioned that. I want to talk to you. Are you just put in there? Are you available next week? And I'll explain to you why later on at the end of the show, and you'll actually hear why. Anyway, so final 4.
You'll hear why he'll be here.
Thoughts Count Anywhere. Yeah, exactly. ThoughtsCountAnywhere.com.
So what's your opinion on the bracketology
Yeah, go ahead.
there, young man?
Let's do it.
Give me your
Give
2 cents.
Give Chief a reason to have a rant.
It better
I
be
think- I'll just say-
right or not.
I'm just going to say this. I think the Sandman, now we got a little Kane action. Is that what we got going?
Oh, that's cool.
That's the 98 Kane, isn't
I
it?
like that one.
Yeah.
Yep.
But Sandman is interesting to me because people like to take jabs at his work rate and his in-ring ability so much. We often overshadow how epic that entrance was. It's probably my favorite entrance in the history of professional wrestling. I was a big ECW mark, so I'm a little biased. Again, I understand the in-ring stuff with Sandman's a different conversation, but in terms of the energy and the emotion that you have with the crowd, the live aspect that carries over through the TV screen, it's Sandman for me.
Do you think that might be where Stone Cold might have stole his beer thing?
Yeah,
from, Sandman,
I think so too.
possibly?
And because the ECW influence is so strong in Stone Cold, and I think Stone Cold would he wouldn't maybe cite the Sandman for that, but I think Stone Cold would probably kind of give you a tongue-in-cheek kind of answer saying, yeah, I had some inspiration there.
Swenson and Rittner.
It was kind of funny when like the bracket first started. Everyone was giving me crap about like where Cross was compared to like Undertaker.
All right.
All this stuff.
It's
but-
hard with the newer names too because you don't want to have that recency bias, but you also don't want to be over nostalgic either. And just dwell in the past too long.
It was just kind of funny because
that's
of all the brackets, I think the Sandman has swept this entire thing. There's like one person that voted against him.
Oh wow.
Literally the whole way.
That's enlightening.
That's like when we talked about the managers last week, and I
Right.
brought up Crybaby Cannon, and this one here says, who?
Right. No,
I
absolutely.
still don't know who that is.
Google it.
Anyway, so
Is
we
Google
also
that old to figure that out?
Google it, brother. Google it.
no. You got to wait till the encyclopedia guy comes
TikTok.
knocking on your door.
Me to
Watch
find
it,
an Encyclopedia
watch it.
Britannica or something?
That's right, and
Watch
get all
it.
24
Museum.
versions. Now, we also got some great ideas last week for potential future brackets. Everything from managers, and we had a couple last week that came in.
Like best finisher.
Best finisher. So if you have an interest in wanting to do a bracketology, you can please use our Facebook page and post your thoughts on there. Put it in the comment section now if you want to see an idea that progresses into our next bracket, because we're going to keep doing with this. It's great interaction with everybody, and we appreciate everybody's doing this and getting involved with our bracket. While you're on there, please make sure you visit the shop, folks. By the way, Chief is wearing the latest and greatest and newest shirt that is now available in the Thoughts Count Anywhere shop. Just step that there, right there. Turn to the main camera. There you go. Okay, see, Chief has to learn to model. Chief's rant is now online, is now available in multi-colors, multiple sizes up to 3X. You can get it in the gray. You can get it. How did you get blue? Where did blue come up?
Blue's there.
Is it really?
Yeah.
I only see white and gray.
Well, it's like I told you, the one that I was on had blue also.
Okay, all right.
So,
Well, right. So here's the gray. Let's see what the gray looks like. Yeah, it looks good too. Anyway, it's available along with all of our other shirts. And just remember, folks, do the drop-down menu, because as you see here, go back to the laptop. Here's all the different items right now that are available that you can actually purchase any of the logo shirts on, from long sleeves to kid tees, unisex V-necks. You can get tank tops in here. Oh, look at this. Even a baby. I think this is cute. Could you imagine a baby onesie and having your grandkid or whatever have the Chiefs rant on your onesie for your kid? I think that'd be
Setting
so
up the
cool.
next generation.
Exactly.
Hey,
Oh, there you are. The Stinger's in the
Oh,
house.
there we go.
I just thought of I've got a friend that's got a 2-month-old. I think I better order the 1-year for him.
There you go.
Yeah.
Let's get them ready
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
All right, let's go back to our WWE report.
Let's skip the next one. We'll go to Ronda
Brandy
Rousey.
says she will be supporting the Chief shirt tonight. Thank you. Thomas Burnett Blue is better. So go out there, and we appreciate this. This is something that helps keep us on the air as well, and we appreciate your support.
Appreciate it, y'all.
Absolutely. All right, let's get to the hot topic, really. I mean, I know we have a lot of great things here to talk about for actually wrestling activity, but I think the hot one was the releases, which we know took place within the last week. Samoa Joe, Mickie James, Peyton Royce, Billy Kay, et cetera. Those are, I think, really the main 4 headliners. But what really made the news, folks, is the video that Mickie James posted showing that how her stuff was returned to her in a black garbage bag in a box. And then subsequently later on that afternoon, and I don't mean to steal a little bit of Chief's thunder here, but head of talent relations, who's been around, I don't know how many years, 20 years maybe
Somewhere
longer.
around there, yeah.
Mark Carano, who because of the Total Divas show and all those extra shows became a name and probably became more in the spotlight than most people would. Mark Carano was subsequently fired and terminated basically on the spot for this action. And it came to light that Mickie James was not the first person to get their stuff back this way, but she is the first person to take WWE to task on social media.
And rightly so. Rightly so. And that's all I'll say about it. Rightly so.
Well, save the rest of it for your rant, if that's what you're going to do. So it seems like, a couple of messages that's in here. People are not sad to see Carano go.
No, there's a couple of people have spoke out already, and they expect a lot more people to speak out about it. Because I guess he wasn't the most friendly or liked person
That's what I was.
backstage.
He didn't exactly have the best reputation the past few years either, right? No.
And you can even see some of that boil through on the Total Divas show when they did that, and some of how his, let's just say, attitude. But I guess in a way you have to have a strong persona when you're dealing with all these different talent relations and try to be even down the line. But I could see that why he was not well liked, in my opinion. Nick Khan is a guy that is now bringing in. Is it Nick Khan?
Yeah.
That's bringing in different people now. I thought for sure, and I posted this to you guys, John Laurinaitis, I would have thought might be the guy that takes over Carano's spot. He's been around a long time. He's the one that notified all the wrestlers of the releases.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that have been the same job that Carano has?
Sorry, guys. You guys don't have a job anymore. People power. The Bellas say hi.
He should do one of those cameo videos doing something like that. Or Mark
You would
Carano.
get fired. They're not allowed to do that anymore.
Well, that's true. Well, Mark Carano can now.
Well done.
I guess people or human beings don't have feelings.
Sean just puts in there, no one was cussing out Carano when he was on camera making all the surprise appearances happen.
Just wait, buddy. It's coming. Just wait.
Brandy Lowry joins us in the chat room. Good to see you in there, Brandy.
Hello, sister.
Get rid of all of Vince's puppets. 702-329-6947. Give us your thoughts on anything in the world of professional wrestling. So, Samoa Joe, hottest. Would you dare say right now, Brett, that Samoa Joe is probably the most coveted free agent at this time?
Oh, absolutely. He has to be. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
I'm trying to think who else would be in contention with that, and there's a few names that are credible, but not like Samoa Joe's caliber.
I looked Joe's age up. He's 41, so he's still a youngster.
Still a young
Yeah.
guy.
He's still a youngster.
10 years left if
Absolutely.
he's cleared of all the concussion stuff.
Like I said last week, I would love to see him go back to ROH just to train the up-and-comers with Jay Lethal and the tag team. Hell, I can't think of their names, from Delaware.
Briscoes?
Yes,
Yeah.
thank you. And the Briscoes. That's 4 good ones that could train.
Yeah,
And we
absolutely.
look what the Briscoes and Lethal were able to do kind of when that Joe, AJ Styles, CM Punk, Daniel Bryan lineage kind of phased out. They carry the company on their back. So if you were to bring Joe back into the picture, kind of come full circle with it, kind of, I guess you could say experience a renaissance maybe.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. All right, let's go on to another topic. Sean Hyde says, hoo-ha to have the best promo ever on his first night back. That would be I'm assuming that's for brackets. That's an interesting one.
Huh?
I like
All
that
right.
one.
Speaking of which, Steve McMichael, who of course played for the Chicago Bears, but in the wrestling world was, I would say, prominent. Can we say that word with his career in WCW? He was a mainstay for a couple of years, part of the.
Was in the Four Horsemen?
He was in the Four Horsemen. He announced yesterday that he's battling ALS now. He's mid 50s,
Yes.
late fit, right? Mid 50s.
I think he was like
roughly?
62. I think
Is
it
he?
said.
Okay. All right. So let's just, thoughts and prayers to Steve McMichael, who was one of the best football players on defense at the time when he played for the Bears and, made a name for himself with being part of the Four Horsemen in WCW. So let's hope that things continue. Hopefully things go well. Oh, Joe. Okay. Sorry, Thomas. Or Sean. Thank you. He meant Joe is about to have the best promo ever whenever he returns. So that's
He's going to go.
He's going to go.
It's going to be
apeshit.
something.
Yeah.
He'll crank it off.
All right. All of you watching, Sosimo Gutierrez, we thank you for watching in there. I saw another name pop up who's watching. Rosalind Gibson, thank you so much. Please reshare our feed. You are watching Thoughts Count Anywhere live coming from the Go Live Vegas studios in Las Vegas, Nevada. I'm Aaron. We have Chief. We have Matt and guest Bell Ringer, who's finally getting a groove. Is Brett Lawson, my co-host from Rise of the Fan, which you hear at 10:30 a.m. here on Go Live after this show. Okay, I want to go now. The rest of the bullet points. I'm going to do one or two more, and then we'll get Chief fired up and ready for his piece, which is also giving Aaron an opportunity to get ready to cue that thing up. Ronda Rousey. All expected this since the last time we saw her in the ring at WrestleMania. She has finally announced that they have finally expecting. She's 4 months along being pregnant, and now that will put all the rumors to rest that she's going to be coming back at least for the next year, roughly.
I'm so glad for her and her husband. The young lady, she deserves it. She deserves to be a mother, just like the man.
Yep.
And I'm so happy for her.
That's something they've been working on for like a long time too. I think a lot of people don't realize that because I cover MMA very closely, so that was something that was a big topic in the MMA bubble that carried over into professional wrestling.
Yeah.
So I agree. It's awesome to see that come to fruition.
Yes.
Definitely. I met Travis and Rhonda a ton of times. They're both super cool people.
Well, reach out
Happy
to them.
for them both.
Let's reach out to them. Get them on the show. She's not under contract to them now, is she?
Yeah, she is.
Oh, she signed a new contract?
As far as I know, yeah.
Damn. Amanda, hi, my good friend Amanda. Thomas gives Brett. He's finally getting the hang of ringing the bell.
Yeah, right.
Hey, Tom.
Practice makes perfect.
Thomas, do me a favor. Look up and see if Ronda's under contract to WWE for me.
Yeah,
Will you,
it's
buddy?
our crack research staff. They're going to get on it for us, and we appreciate that as well. All right, so let's talk about Daniel Bryan. Maybe we shouldn't go into this before the Chiefs round because there's a lot to talk about. So let's just say this. WWE is hopeful to resume touring later on this year. Aleister Black finally was seen on SmackDown via vignette, but his face actually appeared on television yet again.
Hallelujah.
Right? But we don't know exactly what that will actually lead to. By the way, Thomas Burnett says yes, sir. So he's acknowledging our
Appreciate
order.
it, brother.
Let's see what else. Bayley versus Bianca Belair has been signed for WrestleMania Backlash.
Who thought of that retarded name for a freaking pay-per-view? They're running out of ideas quickly.
I'll give you one guess.
He just got fired, didn't he? No, I'm only kidding.
Shane O'Mac.
You think he's responsible for something that stupid?
Yeah.
What I don't understand is it's been called Backlash forever. It's pretty self-explanatory. It always takes place after Mania. The whole theme of the pay-per-view is the aftermath and the ramifications of Mania. I don't get why they had to pigeonhole
Do
WrestleMania
they think
into the
wrestling
title.
fans are that dumb that we don't know what's going on?
They just want our money.
Between that and naming the pay-per-views after matches, we know there's a Money in the Bank match. You don't have to call the whole thing Money in the Bank.
I'm the same way, even when it comes to the cage.
Hell in a Cell.
Hell in a Cell.
TLC.
They only do 2 matches in the cell usually, right?
Yeah.
Same thing, TLC. Only one match, a main event or something, is always a TLC match. So I agree. If you're going to have a TLC pay-per-view, all the matches should involve tables, ladders, and chairs somehow.
I miss the old names, and I especially miss the old sets where every pay-per-view had a cool set to it, and
specific.
They all look different and cool. Now it's look, it's the Raw set with the Money in the Bank logo on it.
That's what it is, too.
Sean Hyde says, "Great Balls of Fire." Are we surprised? I think that was the name of it, right? Remember that one? Thomas Burnett says, "It looks like WWE froze her contract because of the time off, and so yes, she still is under contract." All right, with that,
I know
Thank you.
I think the typewriter is getting tuned up. The Chief is getting his voice ready. He's got it.
Me. I'm ready. Wait a minute.
Never mind.
Wait a minute. Let me get.
All right, it's time for the Chief's rant.
Good morning, everyone. It's the Chief. And a shout out to Mr. Sean Hyde. Here's my rant for today, sir. Mark Carrano, you're an asshole. I'm going to start it off there. Anybody who has any integrity does not black plastic bag up a future Hall of Famer's stuff, puts it in a black garbage bag, puts it in a goddamn box, and ships it to him. You're just a freaking piece of shit. And I'm glad your ass got fired. Hope that helps. Now, to get on to it. 9 people were fired. I wonder how many of them got their stuff shipped the same way as Mickie James did. And what else did this guy do behind the scenes? Maybe there's a lot more things that are going to come out that need to be cleaned up, because WWE is a huge corporation, and I'm sure there's things that go on that Carrano probably hid or did himself. So, Mr. Carrano, I hope you can't even find a job. I hope you're out of the wrestling business, and I hope your $1 million contract, you have to suck it up, and you take that contract that you signed and you stick it right up your ass where it belongs. That's the Chief's rant for today. Thank you.
It seems like right after that, if we had a recording of Vince McMahon doing his "You're fired," would have been an appropriate ending. Don't you think? You're fired. Vince
Wonder
McMahon.
what Chief would do if we can get Carrano on to give his side of the story.
I'd probably punch his ass right in the mouth.
You know what? I think I'd love that. I even messaged. Listen, when I saw Mickey's video go out, not only on her Facebook page. Yeah, it was on her Facebook page. I don't think I put it on her Twitter feed. Look, I introduced myself. I introduced Thoughts Count Anywhere. She has an open invitation to come on our show as a guest at any time for us to talk, and she's welcome. She has a platform to come on and talk about how she felt about it. Although she did post a final thought message on her Twitter account. I don't know if anybody read it, but she's hoping that that'll be the last time that this is addressed publicly.
I saw Stephanie send her an apology.
Yep.
And she kind of accepted the apology, but she was like, that garbage bag is how I felt I was presented the last 3 years. It was like a direct shot at their booking too.
Mr. Halverson, I don't sugarcoat stuff. Never have and never will.
Right on.
In 68 years.
There you go. Nor would we expect to. That otherwise you wouldn't be the chief. Chief is the head of our table, right? He's our tribal leader.
Yep.
The chief is the head of our table. All right, let's go into a topic before I went into that we have a couple of items on here with the same. Daniel Bryan, okay, discussed openly how he felt about being in the main event. He actually tried to talk his way out of it because he felt disconnected. He felt like while he wrestled in that match, he really didn't belong. He didn't feel it.
He was just like thrown in there.
Yeah.
The main story was against Edge and Roman, and they didn't need any extra in that.
Well, from reports I read early on, and I don't know if anybody saw this report, one of the reasons they put Daniel in there was early on the returns and feelings of just Edge and Reigns was not building enough attention as I had hoped. Now, on paper, that should have been all that it was. So this was weeks ago before WrestleMania, obviously. Mm-hmm. So they thought by adding Daniel Bryan and that underdog story again, this is my last run, et cetera, because his contract is up in September. He wanted out of it. He tried talking out of it, and even during the match, he almost felt like it was an out-of-body experience. Brett?
Yeah, I heard that too. It's actually very similar to what we have now. I'm trying to. This is really throwing me for a whirl here. But what we saw in 2014, going to WrestleMania 30, how he was kind of last minute insert, again, much different circumstances, but how he was inserted into that match and it wound up being for the better. I think the match itself wound up being a lot better. I think the work rate between Roman and Edge would have been just fine given the caliber of their talent and athleticism. But adding Daniel Bryan only made what you had from bell to bell that much better. Storyline-wise, though, I agree. It kind of just seemed out of the blue. It was random, and it really didn't have much purpose, at least for the shows heading in. WrestleMania 30 was much different. That was a more of a fan movement. Everyone wanted him in that match, and it wound up happening.
True.
This was more of like just a bonus surprise, like a little treat added in there that, in hindsight, didn't really make much sense. And now that he says this, it kind of adds up because obviously every time Daniel Bryan's involved, he's going to give it his all. He's the consummate pro. But it still kind of seemed like out of left field.
No, unbeknownst to us, we just had The Rock give his opinion on this.
Yeah.
And Garth says The Rock needs a haircut.
Yeah.
If you smell what he's cooking.
I was going to say, I got that early 98, flat top thing that he had going, before it got
bread
shorter.
says.
Yeah. Yeah, right.
If I was you, I'd shut my mouth.
That's right. If you ain't first, you're last.
There you go.
So, I don't know. I think this Daniel Bryan thing is really, really interesting because his contract is up in September. His home life is very important to him now that he's got the two kids. And he loves hearing it's Brie time, in the house, I guess, whatever that means. But I don't know. I would be very sad to see him leave WWE because that's where I think he's made his biggest impact, even from the time he was in NXT, et cetera. And then the thing with The Miz where he was the mentor. I'd rather see him if he's going to stick. I hope he resigns to be a trainer or be behind the scenes as a producer, which apparently he's already doing quietly on a lot of matches.
He's already part of the creative team.
Right.
On SmackDown.
Yeah, exactly. Chief?
It's interesting because last week I said that he would be on my Mount Rushmore.
Right.
Okay, and I really believe that. He's a natural talent. Him and AJ Styles, they're the two to come to mind to me. Although I'd like to see Daniel stay with WWE, but again, I'm going to bring up, I hope and pray that before I go to the ground, that I see wrestling companies cross over, and it's the wrestler versus wrestler, the old territory.
Right.
I hope that happens.
Well,
because there could be some hell of matches.
I'm glad you mentioned that because, of course, we know AEW and Impact is doing this thing, and Tony Khan was recently asked why AEW is not promoting the pay-per-view Rebellion, where you're going to have Rich Swann go up against Omega, and it's title for title, winner take all. And Tony Khan said because it would cost too much money for us to pay Impact for AEW to promote it on Impact. What?
Why have your Impact or the AEW World Champion on the show?
And
why is Rich Swann not gone to Dynamite to promote this pay-per-view they're both doing?
Right. It's
Makes
just
no
inter-
sense.
Yeah, it's just interesting how Tony Khan's come out and said, well, we have to pay to do this with these guys, and we're not doing that.
All right, let's face it. WWE's got money. AEW's got money.
Some people say it's Vince's money behind the scenes.
It could be, but we know from experience with Impact contracts alone,
Right.
they don't have a lot of capital.
No,
Absolutely. That could be why Tony Khan said what he said, that they would have to pay to promote it,
But would
not Impact.
But would it be safe to say that Impact needs AEW more than AEW needs Impact?
Yes.
So are they, I guess it's a rhetoric question because we obviously don't know the reality, but don't you think Impact has already seen benefits financially to some level of working with AEW and having Omega and Don Callis and all that stuff going on? Don't you think they've already seen some impact?
We don't know how much money, let me rephrase. We don't know how much money Impact needed to pay out before AEW ever came into the picture.
No, that's true. I guess you're right. I mean, listen, Impact is now on a traditional station now, so they made that move recently, and they're on Wednesday. Are they on Wednesdays now? Thursdays. Woo! Thursday nights.
If you look, and I'll just say it this way: why did Tessa Blanchard leave? Why did Kevin Cross leave? Killer Cross when he was in Impact. It was all due to money with contracts.
Mm-hmm.
And I still say that Jeff Jarrett had money with Impact. He had the Jarrett money from Tennessee.
Right.
Okay. What's her name who took over down there?
Dixie Carter.
Dixie Carter. She had money. That you never heard about Impact having problems then.
Right.
It's all now since they moved everything up to Canada and the Canadian entourage
Canada.
that they had
Careful, our producer's going to turn off our show.
I don't care.
the people that are running Impact now are in financial struggles, and that's why I believe Tony Khan said what he said.
Sean says Impact doesn't have the viewership yet. That would be worth the money. Just having Omega on will bring that much extra eyes to AEW. So, all right, let's cover one last topic on our report before we go to break, and that is Retribution members unmasking. How excited were you, Brett, when Retribution unmasked?
I was excited that it happened, but I wasn't surprised in terms of, okay, now we're
Come on,
talking.
Macho Man.
History beckons the Macho Man. Oh, yeah.
Matches your shirt, dude.
Absolutely.
Give us a little. Give us a little Macho Man in your answer.
Oh, the cream to the crop, and I believe. All right, but no,
That's about it.
Yeah, right. Well, it makes you realize how good he was, because every time someone tries a Macho Man impersonation, you realize you could do it for about 5 seconds before you realize it's shit, basically, and you realize just how special he was. But
Unless you mention Slim Jims.
right, exactly. But in terms of the unmasking, I wasn't surprised in terms of who it was. I remember while watching Mania the night before, me and my friends talking like, this is going to be the least, the most anticlimactic reveal of all time,
Sure.
the least surprising reveal of all time. But at least it happened, because whenever you see someone like the masked assailant, or the masked attacker,
Right.
whatever,
And
you
they
always,
do
even whether you know who it is or not, you just want them to cut to the chase and do the reveal so they can move along with the storyline.
Right.
I think the storyline will be better now, and on top of it, you have new talent that you could inject into the Raw storylines.
They're not still using the Retribution name with the two of them, are they? I missed if they were or not, because they need to be rebranded.
Yeah.
If they took the
They
mask
still
off,
had the same theme, so I don't know.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering too.
I think they need to be rebranded. Masks are gone.
Yeah.
The Retribution as a faction is gone. So I would think at some point they would need to be rebranded as something else on their own.
The best is when Mia Yim had like a clear mask on and then it fell off and they still refused to call her.
That was early on,
Even
wasn't it?
acknowledge it was Mia Yim.
Wasn't that early on?
Yeah,
when
that was pretty
Retribution
early
started? It was
on.
outside the ring when they were fighting. I
Yeah.
remember that. All right. Hey, you know what time it is? It's time for a final break of the show. You're watching Thoughts Count Anywhere, coming to you live from Go Live Vegas Studios. We'll be back in 60 seconds.
This is John Cena. I just wanted to send you a congratulations on your podcast, Thoughts Count Anywhere. Because indeed they do. Thoughts are important. I mean, what would we do without them? And how can they not count anywhere? Is there a place that thoughts don't count? I can't think of one. Well, I just wanted to say thank you very much, congratulations, and good luck on the podcast. Thoughts count anywhere, because they do.
If inspiration is the beginning, where does it lead? Experience the 2021 Mazda 3 sedan and see where inspiration can take you.
Grab the brass ring in a 2021 Mazda 3 with exclusive FSW discounts at Findlay Mazda. Get Garth today at the Valley Auto Mall.
All right, welcome back. Thoughts Count Anywhere. Have you been Garthed? Anybody been Garthed that we know of in this room? I haven't yet.
Hell no.
If my car was not just like 15 months old.
Oh, I thought you meant the picture, when he does the picture.
Oh, no, not the picture Garth.
Because I'll knock his ass out if he tries that with me.
But you know what? Next week we'll have to. Well, next week maybe we'll stage a Got Garth or something in studio if we can get him in there. But yeah,
One of the best car salesmen in the Las Vegas area.
And let me tell you something. A week after he had his knee done, right? Because he had the surgery.
How many did you sell yesterday? 4?
Yeah, really. I mean, the week he was with us, and then that week he had his knee surgery. He was out for about a week, and he was bitching and moaning about how his knee was hurting him, but he got around. God bless him.
Yep.
The day he went back to work, the son of a gun signed and sold a new car. Who can do that? You come off the IL, and boom, you hit your grand slam home run right away.
Tougher than a $2 steak. That's the wrestling tagline.
Oh my goodness! All right, a comment came up. I think it was from Brandy about blood and guts. So Matt, I'm going to give you an opportunity to address that.
Blood and Guts is going to be on Dynamite here in a couple weeks. It's actually the original War Games match.
Gotcha.
That Dusty came up with, that Cody's doing. They basically like how WWE did the War Games match, but they didn't put the roof on it.
Gotcha.
Like it was originally in WCW, so they're doing it with the roof, like the original way that match was supposed to be that his dad came up with.
Gotcha.
But the whole Blood and Guts special is one match during Dynamite, so I don't know if there's going to be a massive preview and then a match, or if they're really going to try to pull off a 2-hour
match.
A 2-hour match, which
I see that irony. You don't have to put up on the prompter. I got you. I saw it.
You know, I
thank you, Brandy.
I'm glad you educated me on that, and I do have a comment. 2 people come to mind who know that match very well: Arn Anderson and Sting.
They're both in AEW to put it together.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And Arn, that I know for sure, Arn participated in every match in the NWA when it was happening.
Yeah.
He was from the first one through the last one, so he knows how to promote it.
All right. 8 cars in 2 days, by the way, Mr. Garth. 8 and 2. That's not a bad average.
How many SNs did you get?
How many what?
He'll understand the question.
SNs?
SNs.
All right.
Every time I go on my Facebook to do something for Thoughts Count Anywhere, I always see Garth and sold.
Yeah, right.
There goes another one.
Half a car.
All right, let's move on to the AEW Impact ROH report. Peyton Royce is now going by the name of Cassie Lee, which could be her new ring name going forward.
Is she going to AEW?
That's a guarantee.
How about Billy Kay? Are they going to go together?
They would have. Those two have to go back together.
Which one's married to Sean Spears?
I think it's
Peyton Royce.
Peyton
Is it
Royce,
Peyton?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Especially they're building their women's division, which is pretty solid.
Yeah.
I think the Iconics, if they go in, they don't have a women's tag yet, right? They don't have a women's tag title, or do they for AEW?
No, not
well,
yet.
there would certainly be no problem if they were to want to start that with the Iconics as the foundation of a potential women's tag team belt
Division.
Division, yeah.
Yeah.
So
I want to see Britt Baker versus Peyton Royce. That'd be a good match.
Who's Bruce? Who the hell's Britt? Britt's wrestling. What's her name this week for the belt? I think the champ.
Sheeta.
Yeah, I believe it's Britt and Sheeta now.
wow.
But I it's
About
like
time Britt Baker wins that championship.
it's like Mark Henry said this morning on Busted Open when I was listening to it come down. Ty Conti. Very, very impressed. Very impressed by what she did and how she's grown in the wrestling industry. And the other one he plugged, Zoe Stark.
Yeah, I heard him say that. He is in love with Zoe Stark. Absolutely. Has high expectations for her. All right, let's next topic. Well, the Ring of Honor announces a women's division Wednesdays, which will air women matches on their YouTube channel. I think that's good. They should, with the women's talent that's out there in all the brands.
Yeah.
I think this is a great opportunity and well overdue.
It's like I said last week, 40 women, WWE, you need to get off your ass. Put a women's show on, strictly women.
Without Nia Jax. Hashtag thoughts count anywhere.
Hey, she got her ass beat again last night by Tamina.
Keep her off the whole show.
No argument here.
And that's the whole thing I'm going to say about it.
The whole truth and nothing but the truth.
That's it, baby. I love. Never mind. All right, last topic. Go. The Rebellion pay-per-view, which we kind of touched on for Impact, is this Sunday. Listen, I got to be honest with you. The only match that I know off the top of my head is the one we've already talked about: Rich Swann and Kenny Omega. Anything else of note on that pay-per-view?
I have no idea.
Deonna Purrazzo is defending the Knockouts title against Tennille Dashwood, who is Emma. And
Emma in WWE.
I know the Good Brothers are on it, too.
What did
we need to talk to Doc. We haven't spoken to him in a while.
Paul Ellering's daughter.
Rachel Ellering?
Yeah.
Rachel.
She's on the card, too.
She's on the card.
There's 4. I heard them say the other day on Busted Open, you got Ellering.
Jordan Grace.
Yeah, there were like 3 or 4 names that they threw out there. Piper's daughter.
Yeah.
The Von Erich daughter.
Lacey.
So there were 4 names. When you heard the names, you're talking like 3 or 4 generations. Yeah, I mean, we know there's multiple generations on the guy side. But when was the last time you heard that many wrestlers have female wrestlers with that kind of lineage?
Well, the other one, the other one that's coming up that we haven't really heard about yet is the Freebird's daughter, not Michael.
Tully Blanchard?
No. He's passed on.
Ah.
He's passed away. Not Michael P.S. Hayes. And not Buddy Roberts, the other one. His daughter's wrestling now.
Gotcha.
And I can't think of his name.
That's all right.
Somebody help me out, Mike.
I'm sure Thomas Burnett will get on that for us.
My Halfheimers.
Miranda Gordy.
Terry Gordy.
Terry Gordy. See?
Thanks, Thomas.
Tell you what, man.
Miranda Gordy is his daughter.
Yeah.
We have great followers.
See, they know about my 3/4
That's
Halfheimers.
right. That's right. They know the whole story. Okay, with that, you know what time it is?
Happy birthday
It
to
is
you.
time to celebrate some wrestling. That's why I'm going to stretch a little bit here, Aaron. Some wrestling birthdays around the world of wrestling. And as soon as I get the cue, then we'll get started. If you are celebrating a birthday
Happy birthday
from
to
today through next Friday, we want to wish you a happy birthday. And you are celebrating a birthday with these people. I couldn't have said that any slower. I felt like the record speed. What was the slow one on the record speed? Was it 16? 76 was the fastest, wasn't it? Or am I backwards on that?
Far before my time.
I know.
buddy.
I just dated myself, I'm sure. All right, here you go. Phew. If you are celebrating a birthday tomorrow, April 26th, you are celebrating with Jerry Blackwell, the mayor of Tennessee, Mr. Kane, the Yeti, and Amazing Red. If you're celebrating on Monday the 27th, you got Vladimir Kozlov. The 28th, whatever happened to Alex Riley? Whatever happened to this guy? He was so hot in WCW and then came
Pissed Cena off and gone.
That was it, right? Also, Drew Gulak on the 28th. If you're celebrating on the 29th, Paul Roma, Titus O'Neil, and Jay Lethal. I love when Lethal did the impersonation of Randy Savage, and then he
Ric
did the
Flair.
thing with Ric
Ric
Flair.
Flair.
I remember watching that. That was so great. And on April 30th, Abdul Bashir. Let's see if I get this next one right. El Hijo del Fantama. Did I get that right?
The son of Fantama.
The son of Fantama. Okay. Happy birthday to all of these people and you out there. And if we missed your name, happy birthday to you all. We'll go off another list. Don't forget, one last time, please go to thoughtscountanywhere.com. Click on the Final Four square. Get in on voting for our Final Four.
Hey,
There it is, right there.
I want to put a local plug out
Please.
for one of our wrestling companies in Las Vegas.
Only one?
Well, one for tonight.
Okay.
7 o'clock tonight, FSW Arena. Hammerstone. Chris Bay versus somebody. And come on out and watch it.
Is it open to the public? Because I saw the invite and I see online only. So be careful with that.
I believe it's online only.
Okay, so if you go to Future
And
Stars
it'll-
Wrestling on Facebook, right?
It will be Chris Bay against Sefa Fatu.
Oh, that'll be a great match.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go into our pop culture topics. But before we do that, let's announce next week's platform, May 1st, right here in this very show. We are going to have a mini reunion of some original Glow wrestlers, gorgeous ladies of wrestling. Of course, April Hunt will be here. The Royal Hawaiian, the champ herself, is going to be here. Lightning, as well as Ninichka. They will all be in studio next week with us talking about Glow, the original Glow. So a little mini reunion, as I know April will be here to actually manage our friend Otto Von Clutch at an event on May 1st as well.
Who?
Yeah, your friend, your favorite guy.
Ooh,
Who?
Yeah, exactly. I'm just, what? What do you want from? Hi, Lisa Joe from Cali. All right, so that's next week. Mark your calendars to be here. So Garth, listen, dude, as a sponsor, let me know if you're available and want to come in and hang out next week. Okay, message me or whatever you want to do. Okay,
He'll say yes before the show's over.
I'm sure he will. He's got to call in and accept the invite.
Hey, Garth, I'm not taking no for an answer, so get on the telephone.
702-329-6947, Garth. You need to call and accept. With 2 minutes to go, let's get into some pop culture. All right. Garth has just said I'll be there. All right. Mortal Kombat. I know nothing about Mortal Kombat, so Matt, I'll turn over to you.
That movie looks freaking epic. I was working all night. I wanted to hit play so many times.
Do you follow Mortal Kombat?
Yeah, I'm a big fan. The thing is, I've heard some things, and I haven't seen it yet, so I'm a little disappointed from what I heard. I'm going to watch it nonetheless. But so from what I heard, I kind of understand where they're coming from. This movie kind of just seemed, it wasn't really rushed, but it kind of just jumped out of the blue. Again, it's something the fans wanted for a long time, but I don't know if it's going to deliver the way we hoped.
Anything's got to be better than Annihilation.
That's true too.
Anything.
Yeah, I think it'll be better. I think it'll be better than anything we've gotten prior.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
All right, let's go on to our net. Brandy, I'll tell you what. Message me privately, and I'll give you the details, and we'll see if we can make that happen. Okay, next topic. Vegas to open 100% June 1st, but what everybody doesn't know is that May 1st, we go to 80% first. Then June 1st, the floodgates are open.
And I would say some of the businesses in Las Vegas have already been going to 100%.
Well, we don't know that for sure. No allegations around there.
I said businesses. I
Yes.
didn't mention
No,
names.
no,
I
of
said
course.
businesses.
Of course.
I was being politically
Yes,
correct.
you were.
Pronouns, pal. Who are they?
By the way, I'm surprised at this point nobody has acknowledged the ring that I am wearing today.
I saw it.
Well, I saw it, so he doesn't comment on it. So you see, I had the full ensemble. There it is, the rest of the WWE Championship ring. I have the watch, and of course, you all know I have the belt. I've completed the ensemble. And let me tell you, when I purchased this ring, it was supposed to fit my left hand. It is so big now that I've lost the weight. Now I got to wear it on my right side.
And I'll bet you that's one of those items that you bought your wife doesn't know about.
Not true.
And she
Not
you
true.
hid the bill from her.
Not
And
true.
may have just found out. Right.
No, she's at school working. She ain't listening, so I'm not worried about that. Okay, now last topic. Terrence Clark, a University of Kentucky basketball player, died at 19 from a car accident. So we want to send our thoughts and prayers to
That's
his
awful.
family.
He's supposed to be like one of the top prospects in like
He was
college basketball. He's going to be in the draft next year.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Terrible story.
All right, gentlemen, good show today. Mr. Brett, thank you for joining us on the bell.
Thanks for having me. This was great.
You
Fun
got
stuff.
better as the show progressed
Yeah,
with the bell.
kind of found the groove.
Absolutely.
Practice makes perfect.
You got it. Mr. Matt, final thoughts.
Everybody have a good week. Stay safe. Can't wait for everything to be open.
Mr. Chief.
Let's all just have fun and do what we need to do, folks. Love y'all. See you next week.
Absolutely. Want to thank everybody for watching today, participating in the chat room. Please remember to go up to thoughtscananywhere.com and vote for the Final Four. Join us next week when we have a Glow reunion here for sure. And in 30 minutes, make sure you come right back here. Brett and I will be hosting Rise of the Fan Action Nation, everything from the NFL draft to all the other sports business that's worth talking about. All right, be kind to everybody. Why is that? We're all we have. If you ain't first, you're last. We'll see you next week with Glow right here on Thoughts Count Anywhere.